think everybody, Tom Degler got him. We got Kate, got it. Mute, mute, mute. All right, cool. So this is we're sharing the story of time I was in Killington, Vermont. So some of you that know me, Killington's one of my favorite places to be at in the world. And this was probably about 2013, 2014, somewhere in that neighborhood. How many of you guys have been in the business that long? Show of hands. 2013, 14. Who got in after? Give me a thumbs up. Who got in afterwards? Okay, sweet. So, back then we, I guess I was probably in my 10th year of business at that point. Got it in 2002, 2003. So maybe 10 or 11 years. And I lived my first year in business over and over and over again, 8 years in a row. Who can relate with me on that? Same thing over and over again, just a different year, right? And I needed to do something different. So in 2014, I had closed, gosh, I guess it was probably about 14 million in volume. I don't know what the units were at that point, but it wasn't terrible. But gosh, I was working 70, 80 hours a week to close 14 million in volume, which, it just wasn't working for me. So I was listening to an audiobook, and the audiobook is what I'm sharing with you. It's by Richard Parks Cordock. It was a Millionaire Upgrade. And he talks about the 8 principles of I believe, the 8 success principles. And I believe is the acronym. I'm going to go through each one of those and how I've related it to my own business. And the story is, this is based on a true story about a guy that almost missed a plane and ended up getting set next to Sir Richard Branson. Who, you guys familiar with that? Give me a thumbs up, Sir Richard Branson. And this is loosely based on the conversation that this person had with Sir Richard Branson about the principles of success that he used to build his companies. Now, we all know Richard Branson built these really big companies, Virgin Mobile, but he started out as a shoe salesperson. And to grow his network, to grow his net worth to what it is today, it was based on these principles. So I'm standing at the bottom of outer limits. Does anybody know what outer limits is? Give me a thumbs up. A shot. All right, what's up? Nice. So I'm a big skier. We're up in Killington, Vermont, and it is summertime. And I'm standing at the bottom of outer limits. It's the longest, highest, steepest mogul run on the East Coast in the winter. Big, huge moguls. A lot of events are held on this, but it's the summertime. Completely no snow whatsoever. And I'm standing there listening to the audiobook of I Believe, and it starts talking about extending your comfort zone. It's saying believe in yourself, and I'm going to go through all of those. But as I was listening to this, I was inspired to just start walking up this hill. And, I don't know, I guess it's probably 2,500 feet of vert, which isn't a whole hell of a lot, but I was out there with my 2 dogs. I had no water, and I just started walking up it. And as I was walking up, I was listening to this. It took me a couple hours, but I was listening to this I Believe principle, and I just found it to be so absolutely amazing. When I got back down, I started the book over, started taking notes, and these are the principles that I used to build my business. So give me one more fist bump into the camera to get started. You guys ready to go? First principle, I believe in myself. So this is the first I in I believe. I believe in myself. So how many of you heard of this quote? Give me a hand up, thumb up, whatever. Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you are absolutely right. I want you to keep that in mind as we go through this. Success and failure, they're often 2 sides of the exact same coin. And when you're experiencing a big level of failure, that coin can be flipped in almost immediately into a success. And unfortunately, the other way works as well. You on top of the world experiencing successes, it can be also flipped to the other side of the coin. So the guy in the book talked about, he wasn't sure that he wanted to be doing what he was doing. He was a computer salesperson, an IT guy or something, and he wasn't happy with what he was doing. And he talked about, let me just make sure my phone doesn't interrupt us. He talked about, he said, I don't know if I don't know if I should be doing this anymore. Have you ever felt like that? You don't have to answer. You don't have to say yes or no, or I already know the answer because this business, real estate, we got real estate agents, we have mortgage lenders, we have insurance people on here. Our industry has gotten rocked. I don't have to go into that. We know. But I hear so many people that are saying that, like so many loan officers that I'm talking to across the country. I'm tired of the mortgage business. I hate the mortgage business. Um, I go through exercises with some of the loan officers that I coach on how to realize that you don't hate the mortgage business because the mortgage business has allowed us to have a great life for the past 10, 12, 14 years. Um, 15 years, 20 years. I've been in for 23 years. It allowed me to have a great life, better than I would have had if I stayed at my 9 to 5 job making $37,000 a year. Um, you know, I, I love the mortgage business. I just hate what it's doing right now. I don't, same thing you can relate in the real estate and insurance industry, I'm sure. Oftentimes the problem isn't what you think the problem is at all. It's actually something real deeper. I talk to loan officers all the time right now complaining about, not enough listings, not enough deals. My one or two loans that I'm working on, there's an issue on them. But I also talk to loan officers that are closing 4, 5, and 6 million a month. So I don't. It's not a problem. It's not. I'm going to repeat this. I'm going to say it's not a problem with the market. It's not a problem with inventory. It's often something deeper, and it starts with going back to I don't know if I should be doing this. I'm going to share something a little bit later about limiting beliefs, and it's often our limiting beliefs that are holding us back, because no matter what the market is, there are people that are doing great, and there are people that are doing terrible. Um, two different mindsets. The book talks about two different mindsets. You can have an entrepreneur mindset, even though you're an employee. You can have an employee mindset, even if you're not I'm sorry, you can have an employee mindset, even if you're an entrepreneur. Think about that for a second. What's the two differences between the entrepreneur mindset and the employee mindset? The employee mindset is I just got to get my job done, clock out, go do something else. The entrepreneur mindset is I don't want to stop what I'm doing because I'm building something. And every one of us on this call is an entrepreneur. Every one of us. Whether you own your own mortgage company, you work for a mortgage company, you're a loan officer, every one of us is an entrepreneur. And for people that are not in our industry, if they're an employee, they can also have an entrepreneur mindset. It's funny. I do a lot on social media. I know a lot of you maybe know me from social media or at least follow kind of what I'm doing. I remember a loan officer one time asked me, Michael, don't you think you post too much about doing cool stuff like vacations or being on the boat and doing whatever? And I thought, that's interesting. What do you mean by that? Because, well, everybody else sees like all that stuff you're doing. Don't you think people will be like unhappy or upset with you for doing that? I post about going to Vermont all the time and stuff. And I'm like, huh, that's not actually an issue. It's more of an issue of the person that's on the other end feeling like that because maybe they're not doing that. Right. Right now, our industry, and I'll tell a real quick, cool story. Our industry, we can do whatever we need to do from wherever. I'm going to highlight Laura, who's on the call here. Laura, her, um, she just had a grandson that was born, and they live in Prague. So Laura goes and travels and sees her grandson. Dude, like we can do it, and she works, and she closes loans, and she's on a team, and we all take care of. Like we can do whatever we want to. Like don't feel like we have to please everybody else that's out there, right? Um, I remember before getting in the mortgage industry, and this all goes towards mindset. So bear with me on this here. So before I got in the mortgage industry, I remember my father getting really upset with me. I said, Dad, I'm going to quit my job and I'm going to get into this thing called the mortgage business. And my dad said, what are you, crazy? What are you even doing? You're quitting a job. You have a 401k and everything. And I say that because the people that are closest to us sometimes try to hold us back to keep us safe. And I it's okay to listen to them, listen and learn, but then you got to make your own decision. And had I not ever left because I had a 401k, I would have never experienced what I've experienced over the last couple of years. I wouldn't be sitting here in front of you guys. So be careful who we're listening to, right? And it all comes down to mindset. A cool quote I heard one time was, follow your passion, not your pension. And right now I'm passionate about what I'm doing with you right this moment. I put this thing together. We opened this up to a small group of people. I want to test the waters with this and see what this does for a group like you. And then I'm going to open this up to the masses so they can hear and feel the story. But really at the end of the day, really what I want to do is I want to open your mind up to an entrepreneurial mindset. And let- we don't have to be victim to our current environment. We can make business happen, right? How many feel like this? Spinning plates, you got to juggle all these spinning plates, all these things up in the air. Real estate, mortgage, all salespeople feel like this. The person who sells, follows up, chases docs, they're the CEO, they're the marketing manager. You got to do your own follow up. It's like, dude, it's crazy. I get it. But you don't have to. It doesn't have to be that way, right? The B and I believe is be passionate and want it. So if you're not passionate about what you're doing, it's going to be a challenge. It's going to be a grind. If you're doing this for money, you're going to be miserable. I'm just telling you that right now. If you're only doing this for money, you're going to be miserable. And I know not in the beginning. I get it. Every time I talk to somebody about this, they're like, "No, I'm making more money than ever, and it's great." Well, when you make more money than you ever have in your entire life, and then you look around and realize this is it, like this is all. There's no fulfillment there whatsoever. You have to be doing this for something other than the money. We had a closing today, and it was really one of the coolest closing phone calls I've had in a long time. A very good friend of mine was in a particularly tough situation. Let's just say that. And for her to get out, she needed to buy her own house, but she had another house to sell, and it was challenging. And you guys know real estate agents and mortgage lenders. You know the deal. This was super special. She was in a difficult situation. She needed to move out where she was at, but didn't have a place to go. Went through a couple houses, couldn't find something. So I called her. She's a friend of mine from a long time ago. And I just had a really cool conversation. And man, the appreciation that she had for getting her out of this situation and being part of that is better than any paycheck that comes with this deal. Better than any paycheck whatsoever. That was just, and full disclosure, I haven't had many of those conversations recently. So we kind of forget like why we're doing what we're doing, I guess. Um, if you're in it for the money, that's all you'll make is money. Um, Years ago, I got involved with mortgage marketing animals, and just ended up being part of the Freedom Club, and I became one of the head coaches with them for a long time. I used to fly down there every quarter, and on my own dime, I'd fly down there. I'd be at the events, and I'd talk to people, and I'd get them to join the group, and then I ended up coaching, a lot of them. And I remember Jason asking me one time, "Dude, why are you doing this? Like, what you spending your own money, your own time away from your family? Like, what's it for?" And my honest answer was, "I don't know. I'm not sure, but I know there's something more at the end of this. I know there's something more than uh, just going to these events." And what ended up happening was I've created a name for myself within the mortgage industry, and I get cool folks like you guys showing up and being on calls, and I've coached hundreds and hundreds of loan officers, and that's really where my fulfillment is. That's where my fulfillment is most, helping coaching loan officers. I've coached hundreds of real estate agents to build a better team, to build a business, build a life, create a life. And like I shared before, Tony Robbins talks about there's a saying. Have you ever heard this? It's lonely at the top. Well, Tony Robbins calls bullshit on that. And he goes, I disagree with it completely. It's lonely. It's not lonely. It's just less crowded. And if you're just doing this all for the money, you look around and you're like, well, I guess this is it, right? There's nothing worse than a lack of fulfillment. So back to why are you doing this? Why are you in the business? Why are you doing a loan officer? Why are you a real estate agent? If money's your only motivator, you'll never be successful. And I say that because success is not just about making money. I'll talk a little bit more about that. So, what drives you? Do me a favor, type in the chat. Why are you in the mortgage business? Why are you in real estate? Why are you in insurance? Just real quick sentence. Why? Like, what's the real why behind it? Just type it in the chat. Let me see. I don't even have the chat open. Shoot. Uh, there we go. Cool. Love making a difference. Cool. Dominic, thank you. Love helping others, says Jeff. Satisfaction of helping people buy their home, Laura. Cool. Family. Jeff, dude. Yeah. That's big for me. I'm going to share with you at the end too, that whole family piece. To serve people, give my best self. Yep. Freedom and helping people, says Cheryl. We've got a lot of great answers coming in. For my daughter's future, girl dad right here. Randy, I'm a girl dad too. I got 3 of them. Teaching and helping people. Yep. Using my unique skill to help people get to the next level in life. Don Miller, 2 thumbs up. Love that. Love helping people with the largest purchase of their life. Cool. A lot of tons of great answers coming in here. Success as an entrepreneur not being about the money. It's about freedom and choice. It's about proving to yourself that you can do things your way. I mean, I got in this business for freedom and flexibility, right? How many of you, thumbs up, you with me on that one? Freedom and flexibility. Yeah. Yeah. How's that working out for you? We're the only people in the world that leave a 9-to-5 job for freedom and flexibility to work 80 hours a week and be available nights and weekends. Like, what I found is freedom and flexibility comes only when you instill discipline and structure. And it's one of the biggest principles that I've got out of this book in building my business. Discipline and structure. Those are 2 words that were not on my report card, or actually it probably was. It said he has no discipline and structure. When my report card came home or whatever, got in the business for freedom and flexibility. It was not until I instilled discipline and structure, and I'm going to share with you a little bit later on in this call how I use the discipline and structure to achieve freedom and flexibility. Because it's not about doing whatever you want whenever you want. It's about doing whatever you want when you choose or when you plan it. I'll talk about, I get into that a little bit later. So what were you passionate about as a kid? And here's where this passion versus money comes in. Go ahead and type in the chat. What were you passionate about as a kid? I'm still passionate about skiing. My daughter is a picture of my daughter right here. She's passionate about soccer. They had a soccer tournament and it flooded Wildwood Beaches. They still played. It was awesome. They loved it. But what were you? Morgan says sports. Music, says Cheryl. Writing. Cool. In the book, the guy talks about playing tennis. And it goes on to talk about, well, what did you play tennis for? And it was like, yeah, I played it for myself and played it to win. To win what? Well, to win the trophy. And the guy goes, the trophy? How would you practice tennis? Every day, 3 hours a day. It would just go on and on and on in the story about, to win this trophy. And he goes, well, what was the trophy worth? And eventually the guy goes, I don't know. It was probably worth a couple of dollars, like nothing. And he says, so you practiced 3 hours every single day, blood, sweat, and tears, going, every day, doing all this practice for a trophy. And the whole point of the story was we don't practice to get better at our job. We don't practice to get better at our work. And that could be for hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions of dollars over your career. So passion, desire, and self-belief is the 3 traits of entrepreneur. Now we're talking about the second principle of, the first one was I believe, and this one is be passionate and want it. So passion, write those down. If you guys are taking notes, passion, desire, self-belief are the 3 traits of a successful entrepreneur or salesperson. So the question is, I saw Kevin also wrote in here, baseball. Yep. We baseball. I used to go to baseball practice every year. We used to do softball. We do softball through 2, 3 nights a week. I would leave work to go to softball. Like played in this s- super aggressive competitive league. I left a job that I made money at to go play softball to win a trophy at the end of the year. Think about this for a quick second. How backwards some of this stuff is. Uh, Morgan, just you're monitoring the incoming. Okay, cool. And they're coming in, unfortunately, unmuted. Just to give you a heads up. All right. This picture. This was a couple weeks ago. I was on vacation in Wildwood. I took my nephews and I guess they'd be my cousin's kids. Anyway, his two sons, my daughters were sitting on the beach, and I couldn't stop thinking about work. And when I say work, I don't mean mortgage business. I mean this presentation. Passion is way more important than money. I'm sitting here with the fishing rods in the water, was excitedly thinking about this presentation and how this is going to help people. And if I can get people to embrace and grasp the I believe principle that I used to build a a big nationally ranked mortgage team, if I can get you to enjoy your job again, to enjoy your business again, enjoy your life again, that's what I was sitting here relaxing, and this worked. This presentation kept going through my head. So I gotta say, like, if money was more important than passion, I would have been way more excited about the mortgage business because I make more money doing a loan than I am teaching this class. However, when I close a loan and it's for something like the intrinsic value at the end, that's definitely that's worth it. But with this class, getting off of here that helps one person, just one, it's well worth my time, my energy. And that's my true passion. I want to help you build your perfect life, achieve your freedom, and know that you can build and create exactly what you want. And here's the kicker, and this is everything. This is everything to me. Build a successful business and not have to orphan your family, not have to orphan your children, not have to miss a baseball game, a soccer game, not have to at a birthday party take a phone call because you got a client. Like that was my other bigger than growing and increasing my business, my volume. 2021, we closed 802 loans, 198 million in volume. Bigger than that, I stopped. Um, stopped. I stopped. I don't want to use the word dissing here. Every time you pick up the phone at a birthday party or a dinner or a soccer, you're telling your family what's more important. And I get it. The biggest objection I get to that is, well, paying the bills is important, whatever it is. I promise you, you can build something that does not take away from your family, from your kids, and from you, your free time, your hobby, going on vacation. How many realtors I talk to that say, I haven't been on a true vacation without my phone and whatever. Can you relate? It does not have to be that way. So, what are you passionate about in your business right now? I've talked to so many people. I'm going to go to the chat here in a quick second. I've talked to so many people that told me what's wrong with their business. I've talked to people this past week that told me what's wrong with the mortgage industry, what's wrong in their business, what's going right. Type it in the chat. I want to focus on what's going right. And I know it's not as easy to come up with what's going right. It's so much easier to complain. It's just not you. It's a human trait. Type in the chat. I want to hear from everybody. What's going right in your business right now? Just want to give me a thumbs up if you guys can hear me real quick. Okay, good. Cool. Here we go. Relationships, says Jeff. Love that. Yes, absolutely. More leads. Okay, cool. Yep. Because things are getting better. Yes. Thumbs up. Things are getting better than they were last year, right? Thumbs up. Thumbs no. No. I think so. There's more volume. Yeah, kind of. I like that. Yeah. There's more volume. Rates are coming down a little bit. Let's look for the small little positives, right? Lots of people want to buy homes. Cool. Being there for your referral partners, sharing knowledge of the insurance. Oh, very cool. Awesome. Dominic, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad to see you on here. That's really cool. I'd love to get your take on this as well. I've gotten into a new flow that allows me to be satisfied at the end of the day and avoid overwhelm. That's awesome. I love that, Don. Thank you. Cheryl says listings. Cool. I'm not going to go into what's wrong with your business or what's not going wrong or not what's not going right, because we can, it's so much easier to pick those out. But that's positive momentum right there. I love that. All right. Real quick recap. Slides I and B, the 8 principles. You have to practice them all. So we're going to go through all of them. But here's a recap of the I and the B. I believe in myself. Be passionate and want it. You have to have a millionaire mindset versus an employee mindset. Now, think about this for a second. If you're doing something else, or you got a phone, or you're on I want you to just focus on me for 30 quick seconds. Millionaire mindset. You can never become a millionaire if you don't have a millionaire mindset. You have to become it in your mind first before you can achieve the actual goal. Having a millionaire or the entrepreneur or the successful mindset versus the employee mindset will get you back on the right path, right? You have to develop an unnerving belief in yourself. Millionaire mindset is, I believe in myself. I believe it. I know it. Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're absolutely right. I believe in myself. I know I can build a team. I know I can double my business. I know I can triple my business and not have to triple my hours. You must believe that first. And develop self-belief by stepping outside your comfort zone. Too many people are comfortable right now. And I don't mean comfortable meaning like they're making enough money comfortable, meaning like it's just so much easier to turn on Jerry Springer and not make phone calls or not, we have to go out and we have to step out of side of our comfort zone, which is a cool segue to the next E, and I believe stands for extend your comfort zone. We have to get comfortable being uncomfortable. The more uncomfortable positions we put ourselves in, the more successful we will be. We need to stretch ourselves. We need to make the extra phone call. We need to ask for the business. So many people play it safe. They don't put themselves out there. They don't take any risks whatsoever. It's not your fault, though. Here's the good news. It's not your fault. If you're afraid to take risks, you're afraid to put yourself out there, or you're afraid you're going to look stupid, or you're afraid somebody's going to think you look silly, it's not your fault. It's your brain's fault. And I don't know if you guys know about how much you know about psychology or whatever, but there's a thing inside your head called the amygdala, and it's right here, right in the middle of your mind, and it's super small, and its only job is to keep you safe. You guys have heard of flight or fight or freeze, right? Back in the day when these Tyrannosaurus Rexes came and the caveman came out, the brain says, run. Okay, that's what's happening in your mind. But right now, there's no T-Rexes. It's Facebook. Oh, I don't want to put this out there. Somebody might judge me. Don't do that. Stay safe. Oh, I don't want to ask for the business. That person might think I'm desperate. Stay safe. But you have to learn to control that part of your mind or ignore the hell out of it. Honestly, ignore it. Dude, I might look silly. Who cares? Let's go. Extend your comfort zone is the E. Let's relate this to something outside of business. Who remembers the very first time in your life? For me, this was, I guess, probably 38, 35, 30, long time ago. But I remember it. The very first time I wanted to say, I love you to somebody. And I was so scared because why? Oh my God, what if she doesn't love me? What if she doesn't say it back? What if I look stupid? And that is your amygdala in your brain, keeping you safe. Or when you proposed, when I proposed to my wife, I was nervous as hell. I knew she wanted to marry me, no doubt whatsoever. I was nervous as hell. Amygdala. I knew for a fact she wanted me to ask her. She was like, let's go. Nervous as hell. That's your amygdala. That's your brain. Same thing in business. You go out and you do things for people. You do things, show them houses. You help them with their finances. You get them pre-approved. We do a great job on the mortgage side. Why don't we not call the realtor and go, hey, let's do that again? You pass client, you close a client, call them up. Hey, who else do you know? You don't want to get rejected. We have to work past that. We have to extend our comfort zone. Expanding our comfort zone also is about investing in ourselves. How many of you have been in some sort of coaching program? Show of hands. I'm looking at the whole audience right now. Some sort of coaching, something. Okay. If you guys are not on camera and you have the ability to be, I would love for the other 4 or 5. If you can, if you're driving and you can't, or you're not in a place, don't worry about it. But I'd just love to interact like that. When I started getting coached, I was so nervous to pay money in the beginning. I think I was paying like $500 a month. My first coaching program. I was like, oh my God, I can't afford it. Well, I laugh at that now because I couldn't afford not to, right? First coaching program, $500 a month. Second program I got into is probably like 1,000 or 1,500, somewhere in there per month. And then I paid 2,400 a month for this next coaching program. It's like, oh my God, dude, this is ridiculous. Every time I invested in myself, so it's not a cost, it's an investment. Every time that I invested in myself, I made more. I made more. I made more. I have a rule. Like if I can 3x my investment, it's worth it. I mean, double is as well, right? But my number's 3 as a minimum, and I shoot for 9. 9x on anything is like a super big win for me. Why did I pick 9? 9's my favorite number. That was always my number when I played in sports, and 10's just to 10x or whatever. Like I like 9. So that's my formula there. You can copy that. So $2,400 a month I was paying for this coaching program. Dude, that paid for itself leaps and bounds. I paid $4,000 for a coaching program per month, $4,000 per month I was paying. And some of them I was paying simultaneously. And then my very first time, I made I followed Tony Robbins. How many of you guys follow Tony Robbins? Give me a thumbs up. Or know who Tony Robbins is. You know who the big guy is. Yep. So I was attending some of his events. I attended a one-off event. It was $700, whatever it was. Then I attended one that was one time 1,500. And then I'm like, dude, there's Platinum Partners coaching. It's travel with Tony. It's limited to 350 people, all across the world doing really cool stuff. Well, I started making really good money in COVID, and I'm like, now I'm going to do Platinum Partners. I'm sorry, not COVID, right before COVID. So I'm joining Platinum Partners. This thing was $7,000 a month. $7,000 per month for this Platinum Partners. And it wasn't even a coaching program. It was you get to travel every month. It's part of a big 3 or 4 day event that you're doing, but you get to do it with Tony. I joined, and then COVID hit and shut down everything. So my lifelong dream of wanting to achieve this Platinum Partner group, COVID hit. They stopped going to cool places like Dubai or Hawaii. We're supposed to go to Hawaii for the relationship event. Nope, can't travel outside the U.S. Anyway, that's a story for another time. But I will tell you that year was one of the coolest years of my life because I learned the most. And learned the most just from the principles that he teaches, but also learned the most about how to not give up, not die when the entire world shuts down. The stuff that Tony did to keep his thing going is unbelievable. One of the biggest lessons that I've ever learned in my entire life. So some say, how did you pay that much money a month and you didn't even get coaching? The connections that I made were well worth it. Just watching Tony operate in something that nobody's ever experienced before was absolutely amazing. So why am I telling you this story? You have to invest in yourself. Something. You have to do something. You have to be part of a mastermind. You have to be part of a coaching group. You have to be part of a tribe, if you will, right? So you're not going through this alone. This has been a tough 3 years. And I've talked to so many people that are going through it alone right now. It's really propelled me to want to do something to help change people's story by starting a tribe, by starting a mastermind, by doing things like this. So extending your comfort zone, right? I went to this Tony Robbins program the one year, Unleash the Power Within. How many of you been to that? Anybody on the call? One? Just one. Okay. Really cool event, really cool mindset shift, mindset change. So a lot of people have limiting beliefs that are holding us back. And I say limiting beliefs because you believe it, but it's not true. It's true to you, but not the truth. So years and years ago, I used to believe, right? Now I have some realtor partners on here. I'm going to ask your forgiveness in advance. And then again, this was 20 years ago. First got in the business, I was only doing refinances, and all I heard from people were realtors don't know what they're doing. Realtors don't know shit. Realtors don't know their ass from a hole in the ground. Again, bear with me, please. Don't. I started to adopt that belief. Well, at this event, Tony goes through this whole process going, okay, what is your limiting beliefs? What's holding you back? Here's a surprise, right? I didn't have any realtor partners, or not many at all. Why? Because they could tell how I actually felt without me saying it out loud. And I say this unregrettably because that was a mistake. It was true to me, but it wasn't the truth. It was a limiting belief. It was holding me back. And we went through this whole entire process where I went from that limiting belief that I just shared. I don't even want to say it out loud again. It sucks to say it. It's like nails on a chalkboard, to an empowering belief of real estate agents are a source for me to help grow their business, do more business, and spend more time with their family. Like I really got into this mode of real estate agents. There's an opportunity for me to help them grow, help me grow, get together. I can help realtors grow their business. I can help them get more referrals. We can work together and it's a win-win for all of us. So anyway, we went through this whole process and I changed my limiting belief. I'm not going to go, for the sake of time, I'm not going to go through um, an exercise here. I would do this in my mastermind group, my coaching group with loan officers, real estate agents, and whatever. But we go through overcoming some limiting beliefs to turning them into empowering beliefs. Because believe it or not, they're holding you back, and they're things that we've been told our whole entire lives. Um, for example, type in the chat. Money is the root of. Type it in the chat. Finish that sentence. Money is the root of. Why does everybody, Jeff, man, Jeff Williams, he's a stunner. I love it. It's beautiful. That's the right answer. But everybody wrote all evil. Where the hell did we learn that? Because it's not. The endless pursuit of money, the endless pursuit of money could be the root of all evil. However, if you change your mindset, you change your life. Anyway, that's a story for another time. Group exercise, real quick. Everybody, eyes on me, real quick. Do me a favor and sit or stand with your arms crossed, just like this. Sit or stand with your arms crossed. I don't know if you can see me. Cool. Did you know that 7% of communication, only 7% of communication is verbal? The other 93% is body language, tonality, volume, etc. So that's a lesson for another time. But the reason I'm sharing this with you is you all crossed your arms like this. Now what I want you to do, uncross your arms and cross them the other way. How freaking weird does that feel? How uncomfortable. That doesn't even, you guys look silly too. You're just like, oh, this feels weird, man. We're switching around, right? We have to get uncomfortable. We have to get comfortable being uncomfortable. We have to get comfortable doing things a different way, because the way that we used to do things isn't the way that things are done today. And it's not the way things are going to be done tomorrow and the next day and the next day. Think of this also. What hand do you brush your teeth with? Right hand? Go home tonight. Do me one thing. Go home tonight, brush your teeth with your left hand before you go to bed, and tell me how weird that feels. Okay. We have to get comfortable doing uncomfortable things. Because what happens if you break your right hand and you have to brush your teeth with your left hand? Well, you're not good at it. You got to do it. Same thing with business. I know you don't ask for enough referrals. You've got to get comfortable doing it. I know it feels awkward. You've got to get comfortable doing it. I know you hate speaking in front of people. I used to hate speaking in front of people too. I absolutely love it now. Love it. And the more people you get in front of, the more you can influence. And the more people you influence, the more you help. And the more people you help, the more you achieve and accomplish your dreams. Scott says, broke my wrist as a kid. Going to the bathroom was an adventure. Yeah. I mean, Morgan, you have a story about hurting your shoulder. Can you come on and share that with the group?
Yeah, so I play volleyball, coach volleyball, have played my whole life. And 2 summers ago, did something to my shoulder, could not use my hand. We were in the middle of summer league, so we could either quit, which for us was not an option, or I would learn to play with my left hand, which, like brushing my teeth left-handed, I would guess was horribly uncomfortable, wrong. My footwork was wrong, but we thought, you know what, we'll just figure it out. I had to get really comfortable not caring what people think because I looked crazy and being uncomfortable because physically it was wrong. But we made it to playoffs. We won a tournament that way, probably because people didn't know what to expect because it was so wrong. But we just figured it out, and it was it was better for us to do that because we got to spend time together and play a sport and have fun and just instead of quit and go home. And Michael knows if there's something that we can go win, I'm going to try to do that, left-handed or not. And we had to get comfortable being uncomfortable, me specifically, and my partner being ready for really weird stuff. So we figured it out left-handed. And now I'm happy to say I'm back to my right.
Do me a favor, everybody. Give Morgan the equivalent of an applause on Zoom with your two hands. Give her an applause for that, please. Awesome. Thank you, Morgan. I appreciate you sharing that. It's so important. And she went and won. We've got to get outside of our comfort zone. We've got to kill complacency because complacency kills success. And I was too complacent back in the day doing what I was doing, having to do it all by myself. And I had to extend my comfort zone by building a team. And I had to start to trust and rely on other people to do what I could do. I thought I had to do it all. It had to be me. I got out of my comfort zone to start building a team because I would have never been able to accomplish the number of loans, the volume of business that we've closed by myself. Never, absolutely never. And you don't have to build a team. You don't have to do that, but we just have to get, you can still be a solo entrepreneur, right? But doing more. And quite frankly, if you're closing enough business right now, I want you to get uncomfortable by realizing that you don't have to do it 40 hours, 50 hours, 60 hours, or 80 hours a week. You can do it in 30, 40, or 50 hours a week. So extend your comfort zone. We're recapping here. Be comfortable putting yourself in uncomfortable positions. Attack limiting beliefs head on to develop your self-belief. Do one thing each day that makes you feel uncomfortable and stretches your limits. One thing. Sow a seed of opportunity every day. Ask a question. Invite someone to lunch, to a dinner. Call the biggest producer in your area and ask them to lunch. And who cares if they say no? Just sow a seed of opportunity. So sow a seed of opportunity every single day. Down to the L. Moving on. Lies and luck do not work. That's the double L, right? Lies and luck don't work. And what I mean by lies is I'm not saying anybody on here is a liar or dishonest or whatever when it comes to doing your work, but I am saying that everybody on here is a liar at some point. Pause for effect. At some point, when you say stuff like, I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough, not pretty enough, I'm too old, I'm too young, I'm too busy, you're lying, and we need to stop. Gary V, you guys know Gary Vaynerchuk? Give me a fist bump. Gary V. He's awesome. Love him. He just did a talk. A woman came up and said, I'm 49. Is it too late? I think it's too late. And he's like, dude, bullshit. 49, you've got a ton of time left. Like, knock it off. Like, stop saying you're not good enough, smart enough, and too old. We have to stop lying to ourselves. We all have the same opportunity, right? We have different challenges, but we all have the same opportunity. I'm too busy to do this, or I'm too busy to do that, or I don't have enough money. Hey, listen, they're all just lies. We can figure it out. Um, I talk about red time versus green time. So some people say they're too busy because they're working on this loan. They're too busy because they're working on reply to inspection or something or whatever. Or, hey, gonna go into my call block now. Oh, wait, but there's a fire on this loan that I'm gonna go work on. Now I'm not gonna make the calls today. And you know what? I'm not doing it tomorrow. And oh shit, I got this thing. We have to stop lying to ourselves that we don't have time to be productive. I use this analogy. You know, you could take a paperweight from your left side of your desk to your right side of the desk, to the left side of the desk, to the right side of the desk, to the left side of the desk, right side of the desk, all day long for 8 hours. And at the end of the day, be like, oh my God, I was so busy all day. Because you were doing something all day long, but you did not get anything done. So, yeah, you were busy, but you didn't get anything accomplished. Same thing. I mean, think about who checks their email first thing in the morning. Anybody wake up, checks their email? Man, I'd encourage you to stop doing that. That's one of the things that I did. I stopped doing that because it puts you into reactive mode immediately, and then your outbound call blocks go right out the window. We should all be calling people for 2 hours every single day, asking for business, checking in, touching base. How are you doing? What can I do for you? How can I add value to you today? What can I do extra for you today? Hey, do you have any referrals that I can talk to? You want to go to lunch? Want to go to breakfast? Hey, do you want to come to my class? 2 hours a day, every day. It should be set in stone appointment. But we don't do it because we check our email in the morning. And it's like, holy shit, I got 4 things in my email. My day shot. I legitimately put in my email signature. I don't have that in there now, but when I was detaching myself from my email, right? If you don't get back to somebody an email within 30 minutes, are you bad, right? Like in our minds, we think, I used to check my email twice a day, once at 12 noon, once at 4 p.m. And everybody knew it. So if you email me, even to this day, if you email me, please don't expect an immediate answer. If it's urgent, call me. And I set that expectation with other people because I was in go mode. I was in go mode 5, 6, 7 hours a day selling. But then again, I had a team that was handling a lot of the stuff on the reactive stuff on the back end. So what unproductive habits are keeping you stuck? A lot of our habits that we're doing now, if you just turn them around right on their face and would turn into daily habits, get you closer to success. Time blocking, getting committed to green time. Now I know it sounds so simple. But it is. It's simple. It's not easy. I completely understand that. If you had a daily habit of sowing a new seed of success, a new seed of opportunity every single day, I would track that every single day as I was growing this team. A new seed every day. And if I didn't at the end of the day, I had to before I clocked out, checked out at the end of the night. Not checking your email immediately in the morning will make you more productive. My voicemail used to say, I'll be returning calls today between 11 a.m. and 12 p.m. and 3 p.m. and 4 p.m. or 4 p.m. and 5 p.m., whatever it was. And that was it. I did not check my voicemail. You know why? Because I was in back to back appointments every Tuesday and Thursday, 5 hours back to back with one person, back to back at the same exact place. At the same place at a restaurant. I had no time to check my email. I had no time to check my voicemail because I was busy doing sales. Now I had a team again that was handling the stuff that was urgent. But I just challenge you to think differently on that. You know, because the first thing I said when I said don't check your email in the morning, your brain went bullshit. Keep it safe. I don't want to miss something. Amygdala, keep it safe. I just challenge you to think a little differently. We don't have to do the things we've always done the way that everybody's always done them. Set boundaries. Otherwise, other people will set boundaries for you, and everybody else will set unrealistic expectations. And that's where the stress and the burnout come in. Everybody else will set unrealistic expectations for you because you leave a voicemail that says, I'll get back to you as soon as possible. I'll get back to you immediately, or I get back to my people in 30 minutes, or whatever it is. Dude, if you tell them I'm not returning calls till 11 or 12, between 11 and 12, if it's super urgent, call my office. They'll do that. People just need to be told what to do. Trust me. Believe me. And the people that don't, the very few amount of people that don't respect it, well, tell them to, tell them, hey, sorry, it's not a good fit. Quick story on that. I met as we were growing our team, we were breaking through. I guess we got to like 10 or 12 loans a month, somewhere in there. We were breaking through that glass ceiling, and I was going to meet with the top producer. And I met with him. We had lunch. It was a great lunch. And at the end, he goes, hey, this is all great and all, but I know you have a team, but if I'm going to work with you guys, I want to work directly with you. And I said, oh, yeah, you'll work with me and the team and, whatever. He goes, no, 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 directly with you. I want you to do my loans. And I said, man, I said, Peter, it's not going to, no, I don't do loans. I have a team that does the loans. I'm here to help if there's issues or whatever. But, he goes, well, well, I want to call you directly with all my issues. And I said, dude, I'll be honest with you. If I'm in a meeting with something, like I don't even have my phone on me right now. Me and you is me, what I'm focused on. So if you had an issue, I would hate for you to wait. I'd want to put you in the front of the line. So you call my team, they'll handle 80, 90% of the things. And he goes, I just want to deal with you. And I want you to be available at 8:30, 9 o'clock. And I was like, nope. I mean, he was a good producer. He closing 40 or 45 units a month or a year. Um, we could have gotten some business off of that. And I said, no, it's not a good fit. I'm sorry. I don't think we're a good fit to work together. And the funny part was this was the first real estate agent I respectfully said, we're not going to be a good fit. And he didn't understand it because I guess most loan officers will be like, yeah, I'll do whatever you want for your business. But I made a commitment to my family and to myself that I was going to build this a way that I could handle that basically like that I wanted to. And you know what? 8:30, 9 o'clock every single time there's an issue at night, like that doesn't work for me. Now, look, I get it. I answer my phone. Sometimes there's urgencies, there's issues. And then sometimes it's like, hey man, can this wait till the morning? Oh yeah, I just wanted to give you a call. And like set these boundaries so you don't burn yourself out. And that's why a lot of people are feeling the way that they are. But that's a whole session, right? The harder you work, the luckier you get. I think luck is the crossroads between preparation and opportunity. That was a cool quote from the book. I love that. Luck is write that down if you're writing notes. Luck is the crossroads between preparation and opportunity. The more you prepare and you practice, right? The more you practice your tennis game to win that trophy, right? The more that you practice your mortgage and your sales and your scripting or your close, the more you practice and then the more you sow seeds of opportunity, that's how you get lucky. The harder you work, the luckier you get. Talked about sowing seeds earlier. So I don't know if any of you guys follow me on the social and see the mortgage, messing around with like the mortgage gardener title one time or whatever, but I love gardening. Every year for the past 5 years, I've had a huge garden, put a lot of work into it. Yields lots of fruits, tons of vegetables. You see my daughter here. That was just one of our harvests of like 3 or 4 harvests a year. This year, I half-ass planted my garden. Like, put a couple things in, half-ass cleaned it up, and guess what kind of result? Guess what kind of results I got? You guessed it, half-assed results. Past 5 years, I've worked super hard on that garden and got super great results. But to be honest, this year I didn't feel like putting the work in. I didn't feel like putting the work in this year to the garden because I have so many other things that I'm working on, increasing the business and the mortgage side of things, working on helping other people by creating this mastermind group that we're doing by building a tribe of people. So that's where my focus is. Well, I think that a lot of people do this in their business. They just put half-ass work in and then expect like these great results. A lot of people I've talked to recently have said, like, I can't believe I'm not doing better in business. Well, my first question is, well, how much effort are you putting in? I feel like I'm doing everything I can and still not getting the results. Everything you can? Like, this is where the lies and the luck thing come in, right? Like, everything. Like, you're doing everything that you can. I believe that you are, but are you doing everything that you can? And the answer usually is absolutely not. And the answer is they probably put a seed in the dirt and didn't water it and then hoped it would grow into a freaking peach tree. Like, sorry, we are talking about business, but relating it to um, if I ever had any expectation to have a garden this year that would produce even a small yield, I would call myself an idiot. Honest to God, if I expected to have any sort of fruit, I gave up. I said, I'm not doing it. I'm not putting the work in. I didn't water it. I didn't even hook up the irrigation hoses. I didn't fertilize it. I put some seeds in and hoped something would happen. And then I just kind of was like, I can't do it. I would absolutely think I'm a complete idiot. And I'm using some harsh words here. Just I'm being direct because I really want to nail this point home. And I know some people get uncomfortable with this, and it's fine. But if you're lying to yourself and you're saying that you're doing everything that you can, but at the end of the day, the truth is, you're not, then we're just lying. And luck and lies don't work. I remember when I was building this team, like I legitimately was doing everything that I could. Every conversation I would have, I would ask the people, how can I help them? I would let them know what I'm doing. I hear somebody across the room, oh, I'm thinking about buying a home. I'm like, hey, just let you know this is what I do. No problem. If I can help, great. If not, I would ask everybody to a meeting. I would meet with 10 to 12 people face to face in 2 days for an hour meeting. I would do 10 to 12 classes every single month. Like I was doing everything that I could and still not feeling like I was doing enough. Now, I think if we make a couple of phone calls and have like 2 or 3 conversations every other day, we think we're doing. Dude, I'm just telling you, it's not the lies just are not going to work. If you want more, right? So at the end of the day, my garden is shit this year because I put shit effort in. But at the end of the day, the mortgage business is getting better. The the coaching and the mastermind stuff is yielding results, and that's where I'm putting a lot of my work. So you get out what you put in, right? The equivalent of what you're putting in is direct proportion to what you'll get out. And in order to build this business from where it was to where I was when I started to where in the high times, I did legitimately had to do everything I could. And I had to stop lying. I had to take full responsibility. A lot of people just need to get real honest with themselves. Um, I can do more. And if you want to do more, you will do more. If you really want to achieve what we really want, and do whatever it takes to achieve the goal, no matter what, no excuses. Um, just to recap too, we also lie to ourselves that we're not good enough, smart enough, or my upbringing. I grew up in a bad family. I don't have the resources. All lies, because the resources are out there, especially now with all the technology, computer, AI, and all this kind of stuff. So each year we sow seeds that may or may not come to fruition. The guy that you talk to at the supermarket may never buy a house from you. The woman that you text message or that called you by accident. I used to do this. They called me by accident. Oh, wrong number. Oh, no worries. I thought maybe you were calling to buy a house or calling to get a mortgage. I don't remember if, I mean, 1 or 2 people may have said, oh, yeah, I'm thinking about it. Well, let me give you my information. That may be overload. I don't know, but I used to do it. I used to do it all the time. So in my garden, I plant seeds and I hope, hope's not a strategy, but I hope most of them come up. But if you don't do something, if you sow the seeds of opportunity, but you don't do something with that, like you plant a seed and we water it. Okay. That's cool. You talk to a client and then you follow up. When the plant starts to grow, we start to fertilize them, right? We fertilize them every 2 weeks. It's an organic fertilizer, but that's not important for right now. As you start to see sow a seed of opportunity in business or relationship, follow up every 2 weeks. Hey, how's it going? Fertilize the relationship. Then we got to pick the weeds, right? In the business relationship, we pick through opportunities, or maybe this one is not a good fit, so we pull the weed. Do we do it once? No, we do it every 2 weeks. I fertilize every 2 weeks, or I did for the past 5 years. We do it until we get the end result, the fruit, the vegetable, the deal. We get the sale. I think I've talked enough about my garden, right? But that really wasn't about the garden. I hope everybody picks that up. 5 years, my garden was great. And this year, I didn't pick the weeds. I didn't sow the seeds. I didn't do the fertilizer. And if you saw it now, it's way worse than all of this. Just like the laundry, the longer you let it go, the more work there is to do. The longer you let everything go, the harder it is to clean up your business. And if you don't know by now, I am talking about your business, right? The garden's just an analogy. Start to clean up your business now and start to do little tiny pieces and set the big goal, but break it down into little tiny chunks. Stay honest with yourself. Get into a good habit of being totally honest. Are you actually doing what's required? Are you actually putting in enough effort to get the result that you really want? Are you blaming others, blaming the environment, blaming your circumstances? Or are you taking full responsibility? The day that I took full responsibility for everything, and quite frankly, you could even argue that some of the stuff wasn't my fault. I took full responsibility for it. Somebody on my team didn't do the right thing or messed up or cost us a deal. Well, I hired that person. I trained that person. It's my fault. What do we got to do about it? Everything is our fault. So a recap here. Actually, we just went through the recap. We're going to go on to installing goals. So installing goals. If you don't have a goal, if there's a saying, plan to fail, or you fail to plan, you plan to fail. The point here is most people don't spend enough time installing proper goals. If they do, they don't track them. And if they do track them, they don't make adjustments, and they don't make adjustments quick enough to get to the destination. So have you ever guys, are you enjoying this so far? Give me a fist bump if you're enjoying it so far. Are you getting one or two things out of it that you can use immediately? Awesome. So here, this goal setting is one of the most important parts of all of this, getting it together, because we can do all of everything that I just talked about, but if you don't have a goal or you don't have a destination, then you're not gonna get to where you want to go. So everybody heard about the airplane that leaves New York and goes to LA, right? They're off course a majority of the time, but the pilot is in the cockpit to make sure that we get back on course. The wind blows you off course, get back on course. So 90% of the time, that airplane is off course, but they're making course corrections to get there and get there as quick as possible and hopefully on time. I have another analogy or another question for you. Answer in the chat. What's the goal of somebody climbing a mountain? So if you were going to go climb a mountain, what's the goal? Type it in the chat. Wake those fingers up a little bit. Reach the top, Randy says. Get to the top. Yep. Feel successful. I love that, Dominic. Exercise. Love it, Laura. Prove to yourself you can get to the top. Not fall. Yep. Love that. Enjoy the hike. Awesome. All great answers. Achievement. Fulfillment. Yep. I didn't read Cheryl's answer on purpose because Cheryl nailed it. Most people think the goal is to get to the top, but isn't it actually to get back down safely? Because if you just climb up Everest and you die up there, I wouldn't say that that's our goal, right? We got to get back down safely. And I love that question. It's a loaded question. Cheryl, you nailed it. You get a sticker for today if we had stickers. Most people don't have the proper goal installed. Climb to the top. We want to get back down safely. So Neil Armstrong, first man on the moon, they made a goal to get a man on the moon by the end of that decade, whatever it was. Sorry for I don't have the details of that. And the goal was to place a man on the moon and get them back to Earth safely. Like that was the goal. It wasn't, hey, let's get a man on the moon. Then they get the man on the moon and then he dies up there and like, hey, but we got him there. Like that's not the goal. It was to get back to Earth safely, right? So when setting a goal, we have to be specific and have definiteness of purpose. And when I started doing this part of the book was huge for me because when I started doing this, before I started doing this, my first goal was like, hey, I want to make $100,000 this year. All right. The next goal was, okay, I did that. I want to make $250,000 next year. The next goal, I want to make $333,000 next year. Why? Well, because in 3 years I'll make $1 million. But okay, that's the goal. That's great. But what's the point of a goal, of achieving that goal, if you just upset everybody in your family and you don't have time to spend with your friends, you don't have time to enjoy it, you don't have time for hobbies? What's the sense of making $300,000 in a year if you get divorced? Then you just have to split it. Well, then you didn't make 300,000. You only made 150 because you had to give the other half to your spouse. Like, we have to have definiteness of purpose in our goals. I'll talk to you a little bit specifically about that. One of the biggest misconceptions is, and why people don't set big enough goals. Like, if your goals don't scare you, it's not big enough. Everybody thinks they have to do everything like by themselves, but building the team was one of the biggest things that got me to break through multiple glass ceilings. Back to the spinning plates concept. When you're setting your goal, you got to set them so big that you have to hire other people to accomplish them, or not. I'm not telling you have to build a team, but like for me, I built $100 million team. I could have never done that by myself. We closed 100 million. The first year we did it, I think was like 2017. So in 2014, we did 14 million. 2017, we did 100 million. I could have never done it by myself. I was in charge of the big picture. I was in charge of finding people and the visionary. Where did we want to go? What did we want to do? I found people that were really good at doing loans, really good at marketing, really good at making phone calls, really good at managing the people that needed to do all that stuff, because I'm not good at that. But I was really good at going out and meeting with people, setting the goal, visionary, going out, meeting people, sales, and that was it. Most people don't set big enough goals because they think they have to do it themselves. So going through a goal setting exercise, you ever heard of BHAG? Big, hairy, audacious goal. So set a goal to make $1 million. $1 million. That may not be important to you, but if you don't ever set a goal to make $1 million, you're never gonna. Now, I don't mean $1 million in a year. Maybe it's $1 million in 3 years, right? $300,000 a year, or something like that. But in making the goal, it needs to be specific. Like, want to make $1 million a year or $1 million in 3 years, but I don't want to work 80 hours a week. I don't want to orphan my children because every time something comes up, I have to be working, right? Because I have to achieve this goal. Like, it's really super important. And if you ever heard the saying, thoughts are things, or if you believe it, you can achieve it. And that's where it has to start, with the belief. Remember, back to the first B. When you set a goal, it has to be with that definite enough purpose in mind to help you accomplish that. The problem is most people set these impotent goals, which are small and achievable. If your goal is just to survive, then your mind will do everything it can to just barely survive. And that's it, and no more. It'll get you no further than that. But if you have a big goal with a how and a why and a deadline of exactly what you want, your mind will create ways to make it happen. And that's where people start to experience the luck, or things that happen in their favor, or things always happen to them. You heard about like the thing of the reticular activator, when you start to look for a new car and you see like the white, I don't know, name any car, whatever. All of a sudden, then you start seeing that brand of cars. That's because your goal or your mind was set on a certain car, and now your brain's programmed to see it. Well, if you set that big goal with a how and a why and a deadline of exactly what you want, your mind will start to look for opportunities automatically, because your mind will help you accomplish that goal. What's the point of setting goals if you don't review them? How many of you set a goal December 31st for the next year, or January 1st for the next year, and then you review them December 31st only to realize you didn't accomplish your goal? Hands? Ever do that? Ever? I did. Well, just having the goal is pointless unless you're going to review it. I realized, wow, I should at least check my goal halfway through the year, right? And then I realized by doing that, I just wasted 6 months. So I started reviewing them quarterly. And then I realized I'm just wasting 3 or 4 months. Then I started reviewing them monthly. And then I'm like, shit, 30 days has gone by. I haven't even made that adjustment. Then we started doing it weekly. Now we track our goals daily. And that's when we really started to make huge progress. Because if you realize that yesterday you didn't achieve what you needed to achieve yesterday to create to meet the weekly goal, to meet the monthly goal, to meet the yearly goal, you can course correct that very next day. So if you're not reviewing, that's one of the biggest things that helped me with the growth from 2014 to 2017 was reviewing goals on a regular basis. And back then I was probably only doing it monthly. Remember the story about the plane taking off from New York to LA, off track most of the time? Think about if a pilot took off from New York and then didn't check in to see where they were going for 2,950 miles in a 3,000-mile trip. Right? They could have figured out, man, you could have been going 2,950 miles in the wrong direction. Like they're always constantly monitoring their goals to make sure that they're on track. And if your goals are not written down in a place where you can see them every single day, it's probably not working to your advantage like it could. And quite frankly, you should read your goals aloud every day. I wrote out exactly what I wanted. Actually, I don't even know. I think I have it. I wrote exactly what I wanted, how it looked on a daily basis, me walking to the office, what it looked like, conversations, who, receptionist and teams, and we had meeting every day with this group, and then we had a meeting with the and I was 2 people at that time. I mean, I wrote out this thing like I had 30 employees, 30 teammates. I hate the word employee. And I walked in daily and we reviewed the numbers. Then I went with management, and reviewed where we're heading. And then from there, I did this much sales. Well, guess what? I had 2 people at that time. Well, guess what happened? In 2020, when we closed 802 loans, I had 33 people on my team. And it looked exactly the way, not exactly, 90% of what I wrote out 6 years prior to that. It was almost like to a T. So set the goals, write them down, read them out every single day. And you should always write down is specifically what it is that you want. Specific, write it down. Your brain doesn't know the difference between perception and reality. And then you got to take that whole entire plan and condense it to 10 to 12 words. So, for example, that could look like close 4 million monthly, 50 hours a week or less, prioritize family. That's your elevator clip that you have in your wallet, on your phone, put it on your screensaver. Dude, if you did that, listen, if you went through a goal setting exercise, and I go through a WTF exercise with all of my private clients and the people in our mastermind, WTF, what the F you really want. And we go through and make this pages of pages of pages of exactly what it is. And then we break it down to like a good paper. And then we break it down to this. If you put that on your screensaver on your phone, how many times you pick up your phone and you saw it every single day, every single time, I promise you, you would move closer to your goal on a daily basis just by that one little motion. Reading aloud your 10-word or 12-word overview. Talk about the WTF exercise. Mentor of mine, a guy I worked with for a long, long time, Carl White, he squared me up one time because, we went, we did this planning and we're like, okay, I want to close 30 loans a month. And, the next time we come in, it's like, I want it to be 50. And the next quarter we come in, we're like, he goes, look, dude, sit down. Like, what do you really want? And I encourage you, like, what do you really want? Think about that for a second. What do you really want? And I was like, oh, I want to close 30 loans a month. He goes, nah, what do you really want? I'm like, what do you mean? Like, I want to make $100,000 a month. And I want to, because, what do you really want, dude? And I'm like, what I really want? What do you mean? He goes, he squares me up. He gets real close to me, uncomfortably close. And he goes, what the F do you really want? And then part of me was like, besides you getting out of my face, I mean, geez, he's like grilling me, man. He's like right here. But he got me thinking so deep and so hard. And that's how I came up with this, what the F exercise. Like, we have to can drill down, keep drilling, keep drilling, keep drilling, keep drilling. Get honest with yourself. Stop thinking small, thinking you don't deserve it. Like, stop that shit. You deserve it. You deserve whatever you want. So as we were creating this this presentation for you guys, I wanted to be able to work on my boat and create awesome presentations and help other people and catch fish at the same time. That's what I really wanted. That's what I really wanted to do. I wanted to get on with a group like with you guys. We were making this presentation, and guess what? We were putting the final touches on this yesterday. I was up on my boat. I just threw the line in. It was kind of sitting there. Morgan and I were working on this, and I caught that awesome bass on the left-hand side. That is a good fish, man. Morgan, when I caught that, like I was freaking thrilled. I was jacked. And then I caught the other little perch over there, whatever. But that's what I really wanted, dude. And we went and did it. All right. So that's a small scale, right? But what do you really, really want? So this WTF exercise, it took me a whole entire day to do it because I did a brain dump, which took all the stuff that was spinning around in my head, did a brain dump. I put everything out on paper, got that out of my head, cleared it up. I wrote down what is it that I really wanted. Then I took that, I siphoned it into, I made it better, and then I broke it down. It took an entire day. In our masterminds, we spend like a half a day doing these things. We'd be there for 2 days. We'd spend 25%, at least 25% of the time doing the WTF exercise. The problem is most people, when they set goals, they take an hour or two, they write some things down on a piece of paper, they're super distracted, and then that's it. Then they're gone. They just do it to kind of do it. We get laser focused with a definite purpose. Figure out what the why behind it is, because a goal without a why is just a wish. And we get super laser focused on exactly what it is. And I can tell you this, hoping is not a strategy. Hoping for something to change, hoping for the market to turn around. How many people have heard that? Is not a strategy. If you hope for somebody to call you because you gave them your business card or you said, hey, I'm a realtor, it's not a strategy. Hoping for something different is not a strategy. Like we have to go out and make it happen. So recapping this and coming down towards the end here, wrapping it up, create a plan of action, break larger goals into small ones. Goal should be a stretch and almost unachievable. Think of landing a man on the moon, right? And I'm not kidding. Like I set a goal to make $1 million in a year. Like I wrote it down, I put it in place and grew a team to 33 people. And I never would have done that if I didn't stretch myself. I was doing $14 million in 2014, closing $1.2 million a month. Never would I have ever gotten to the point if I didn't do stretch goals. Written goals, program your subconscious. Written goals are a dream with a deadline. All right, as we start to wrap here, enjoying hard work. This is a very short section. Being successful is simple, but it's not easy. You know, when you're doing something you enjoy, it doesn't feel like work. I heard a cool quote. Having fun at work should be more fun than having fun. I just love that. Kind of thought that was pretty cool. Because what it does is if having fun's more fun than what you're having at work, procrastination sets in, and procrastination is the thief of time. And when you don't enjoy what you're doing, procrastination will steal your dreams. Who's heard of this saying? Show of hands. Good things come to those who wait. Right. Second half of that is only the things left behind from those who hustle. We have to enjoy hard work. We have to enjoy what we're doing or we're not going to work hard. And we've got to get back to finding the joy again. I saw a couple of you shake your head when I said, I don't know if we're right to be doing what we're doing anymore. Like we have to get out of that. We have to realize that we are right to be doing what we're doing. We're just going through a tough time. And we have to start to enjoy what we're doing again. And this will all come together. Persistence is the key. Are you kidding? Look at this, Jeff. It's like a segue. Very, very persistent. Most people give up way too early. Most people quit when they make one phone call, maybe two, and call it quits. Most people get turned down one time and they're like, dude, I'm out. Like, this sucks. But if you're if you know you're right to be doing what you're doing, you'll continue to be persistent and you'll never give up. You have to have a burning desire to win and a never give up attitude. So too many people take no for an answer. I did I teach a class to real estate agents on stop taking no for answer, with their buyers or with their sellers. I teach a class to loan officers to stop taking a no from your realtors. Like, if you're right to be doing what you're doing, no is not the answer. Like, no is not the answer that you should accept anyway. I teach a class called Ask Better Questions to Get Better Answers. You should learn to be more bold. Most people sheepishly go, well, you're a real estate agent. I'm a lender and, I'd really like to earn your business. Well, of course they're going to say no. That's not even a good approach. They're going to say no because they're programmed to say no. You know how I know that? Walk into a suit store to go buy a new suit. Salesperson comes up and says, hi, may I help you? Without even thinking, you go, no, thanks, just looking. Why is that? Because we're programmed to say that. And then the salesperson goes, well, here's my business card. I'll be over here in the corner if you need me. Like, that stinks. No. Oh, you're just looking. Cool. For what? Suits or ties? Oh, well, I'm looking for a suit, 2-piece or 3. Navy or black, whatever. What's the occasion, right? Same thing with real estate agents. Oh, you're looking to buy a new home. No, just looking for my brother's uncle's cousin's former roommate. Nope, no, I'm not. Well, what kind of home is your cousin's uncle's brother's former roommate looking for? Maybe I can help. 2-bedroom or 3, Cape Cod or traditional or condo or whatever. Like, the more questions you ask, the more the conversation advances and you break through that automated response of no thanks, just looking. And how about this? If somebody says no, well, why not? Super simple. Why not? Make them explain it. Why not? Well, I just don't like you. Okay, well, what is it that you don't like about me? Don't accept no for an answer. Ask questions. Get to the bottom of it. Real estate agents tell me all the time, oh, well, I've got to give out 3 business cards. How many of you loan officers have heard that, right? No, gosh, I'm sorry to hear that, Mr. or Mrs. Realtor. You haven't found a great lender that you trust yet. Just don't take no for an answer. Buyers, how about this? Buyers already been pre-approved. I get real estate agents tell me that all the time. All my buyers are pre-approved. Oh, wait, I'm kind of hearing that you don't control your business. You're saying you just accept the pre-approval that comes through the door. Man, that must be really stressful. Can you talk about that? Like, what would I called a real estate agent one time, just a couple months ago, and talked about a 2-1 buy down strategy. Their house has been on Zillow or listed in MLS, whatever, on Zillow, 100 days. They just did a $15,000 price reduction. I called up and said, hey, I saw you just reduced the price on your home. I didn't call up and go, hi, this is Michael Mann. I'm a loan officer. I'm with VIP Mortgage. How are you today? I didn't do that. I called up and said, hey, I saw you just reduced the price on your home, $15,000 for sale. Yeah. Oh, tell me why. What's going on with that? Okay. Can I ask who's calling? Yep, I'm Michael. I'm a mortgage lender. I'm calling because I have a strategy. I'm helping real estate agents that are reducing the price on their homes. Instead of reducing the price, I'm coming up with a better way to utilize that money. Instead of the price drop, we're using something called a 2-1 buy down to reduce the interest rate and the payments for buyers to get some buyers off the fence. I'd like to talk to you about that. His answer was, well, I've already got a mortgage lender and they made flyers for me or whatever. How many loan officers would have said, oh, okay, and gave up? I said, I'm sorry, I don't think you heard me properly. I help real estate agents get their homes moving without having to drop the price. It's like you said your loan officers already made you a flyer, but your home's been on the market for 100 days. Let's have a conversation and come up with a strategy to help you get rid of that home. And instead of dropping the price, let's get some of your buyers off the fence. Like, I was coming twofold with this. He didn't hear me at first. He heard mortgage lender and turned everything off. As a real estate agent, when you tell somebody you're a realtor, what's the first thing they're thinking? Oh, no, I'm not selling my home. Nope, I got a great rate. How many times do you hear that? They're programmed to distance themselves. Don't take no for an answer. Go for No is a really good book. Yes is the destination, but no is how you get there. Ask people questions to get them to tell you no. Keep the conversation going. Don't give up. Accomplishing your goals is way more important than what other people think. So, how many of you do this? You're going to share something on social media and you think, I don't want this person to think poor of me, or I don't want to think, if they might think negative of me, or I don't want to share, or I'm embarrassed. Accomplishing your goal is more important than what other people think of you. You have to be, you have to want something so bad that you're willing to do almost anything to achieve it. Now, I said almost anything. I don't mean lie, cheat, and steal and all that shit. Nothing illegal. But you have to be willing to do almost anything. You have to be willing to put yourself out there. You have to be willing to work as much as it takes to achieve that goal. Have that burning desire that will, and having that desire will automatically help you become more persistent, but professional, pleasant persistence. Persistence is needed to overcome all the challenges that we face as salespeople. We got to stop stopping. An old mentor of mine told me that. Stop stopping, quit quitting. If you want to quit something, then quit quitting. Quit stopping. Commitment alters everything. Do what's required, do what you said you're going to do, and achieve that goal. And as we come to the final E here and wrap this thing up, 4 steps it takes to get to the top of the mountain. 1, have a clearly defined goal that you're passionate about, have a burning desire to reach. 2, make a clear plan that you can begin working on immediately, but you have to anchor it with action. Clear plan, anchor it with action immediately. Immerse yourself in the achievement of your goal. And 4, surround yourself with talented people who share your belief and passion. Join a mastermind group, join a coaching program, join something at your work, a group, start one, right? The last E, this is the shortest one of the entire program. Expect failure. You cannot build a life and a business that you really, really want without failure. The cool quote is success is going from failure to failure without loss of enthusiasm. Dude, I've failed way more times than I've succeeded. And what's cool is you only have to succeed once, 2 times, or 3 times. Like, you could fail 50 times. You only have to succeed once or twice or 3 times. I've lost everything. Back in 2008, I lost everything. Financial crash. I had no money. My house went into foreclosure. My dad died that year. Like, legitimately was losing everything. 2010, sorry, my daughter was born 3.5 months early. I stopped selling. Business crashed. That's when the house went into foreclosure. I failed more times than I can remember, but the failure taught me that rock bottom is not the end. You actually can bounce off a rock bottom. Hey, that's the worst that can happen. Cool. Let's build back up and, let's build this thing. I'll be honest, we lost everything in 2010 again, and build it back up was only doing 14 million in 2014, and then build it up to 100 million in 2017, 2018, 110 million, 2019, 110 million, 2020, 198 million closed. 2021, 177 million closed. 2022, 142 million closed. 2023 and 4 have sucked. I'm being honest, has absolutely sucked. So I got this thing on my wall. Scott, my friend Scott, got it for me. Don Shula saying, "Success is not forever and failure is not fatal." I think he stole that off a wall at Shula's restaurant. But it's right here. Actually, I can't reach it. Shit. Failure is not forever, and this market's going to turn around, and things are going to get good again. And we just have to have a game plan, executing it, and then remember I said, luck is the crossroads of preparation and opportunity, and now is the time to prepare. All right. I believe in myself, be passionate and want it, extend your comfort zone. Guys, I'm flying through here because I wanted to end this at 2:30 for you. I want to be respectful of your time. Lies and luck don't work. Install goals, enjoy hard work, very, very persistent, and expect failure. I'm going to be doing a follow-up mastermind. I'm doing this class again. This one I was limiting to just a couple of people. Next week, we're going to be opening this up to a bigger group. I'm doing a follow-up on September 2nd. The cost of this is going to be $100 for anybody that joins not coming through these calls. But for you, there's a QR code on the screen. For you, it's free because you've been here. You've invested your time. You've invested the past 90 minutes. And quite frankly, I'm giving this to you as a thank you for spending this time with us. So it's not going to cost you guys $100. Scan that code. You have to register now. It's for free. It's nothing. There's no cost whatsoever. But what we're going to do is we're going to get this group together, and we're going to get the next group that's going to be here on Wednesday together in that mastermind. And we're all going to be on a call, and it's going to be me answering, Q&A. It's going to be some people that, what did you get from this? What's the biggest takeaway? And what he shares, she's going to pull from, and what she shares, everybody else is going to be like, yeah, it's a cool thing. I didn't get that part. And we're really going to come together and just we're going to come together as a mastermind group, like I talked about. Get together as a tribe, get together and start to take this stuff and get some action. Does that sound cool? Is that good? Give me some thumbs up. Did you enjoy this today? Yeah, I really enjoyed doing the presentation. I really enjoyed making it. Morgan, with you, thank you, Morgan. I felt bad. Morgan was in her office. I was on the boat with the beautiful picturesque in the background, catching fish. I felt like I wish you were with me. But I really enjoyed doing this. We worked really hard on this, and I love that you guys were here. Thank you for your time. I'm going to stick around for a little bit. I'm not jumping off. If you want to unmute and kind of ask a couple of questions, I'm here. I'm here for the next 15 or 20 minutes or so. If you want to do that, just go ahead and type me in the chat, and I will. We'll unmute you. Please, I'm more than happy to answer any questions that you guys have. I know we had a few people jump off here too. They had some time frame, but did anybody have? Go ahead, type me in the chat if you have a question. We'll open you up. Any feedback? Any thoughts? Dominic, I know you want to. I'm just going to unmute you right now. There we go. Ask to unmute. Dominic, you were paying attention, man. I appreciate it. Thank you.
No problem. Honestly, just so grateful that Morgan invited me to join, and now I get to save another $100. How great is that? But no, realistically though, this is a nice experience. I've never been a part of something like this before, so I appreciate you taking the time to have me here, and I feel like you have a lot of experience, Michael. Or do you prefer Mike? I can't tell.
You know what? This is a funny story. I only prefer Michael if I introduce myself as Michael. And
Okay.
if I say, "Oh, my name's Michael," and they say, "Oh, nice to meet you, Mike," I'm kind of like, I didn't
What
say
is going
that.
on here?
But after that, I don't care what people call me. It doesn't matter. It's kind of one of
Gotcha.
those things. But no, I appreciate it.
Understood. Yeah, no, other than that, I don't have any questions. I've just been taking so many notes, and I'm definitely gonna have to get that audio book and listen to it. It sounds very insightful.
Yeah, it was really awesome. I can't wait to hear what you take away from that. But yeah,
I need
join
to
us
hear
on.
more about your Vermont trip as well. I also need to know what's so great about up there because I go to Maine a lot, but I've never went to Vermont. And so I'm like, I went right past it. Why didn't I just stop in Vermont? So I need to know what it's like up there. So I feel like we got to catch up later.
I see everybody saying goodbye. Cheryl, Dawn, Randy, thank you guys. We really appreciate you being here. I hope to see you guys on the Kate. Thank you. I hope to see you guys on the follow up mastermind. Let's get together in the community here and continue this a little bit further. But as far as I went to Maine for the first time this year, I was like, dude, this place is awesome. I love.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you ski?
No, I don't ski. I'm guessing you went during the winter time then, correct?
I go to Killington all the time. I go to Killington
Okay,
a ton. I've been there a
awesome.
couple
So
hundred
for
times actually.
for Maine, you went in the winter time as well, I'm
Yeah.
guessing?
Yeah. I
Yeah,
skied up
that
at
makes sense.
um what the hell one did I ski at? The big one.
I forget. I don't know the names of
Yeah, I don't
all the big
remember.
spots up there, but
That's
I
great.
usually go in the summer and
I love the summer in Vermont. Yep. It's beautiful.
okay, summer in Vermont's also a nice spot. Good to know. Good to
But we'll
know.
talk about that. Yeah, we'll talk
Yeah,
about that.
I'll go down the
Um,
rabbit hole later.
thanks. Yeah, thanks for the feedback. How about you, Jeff? What do you got, man? Jeff Jeff Wilmoth, Jeff Davis. How about some feedback? I was gonna unmute you guys.
Hey, Michael.
Yeah.
I'm spinning plates trying to work towards what we were talking about here, but yeah, it's all how do we say this? I identify with your path because mine's kind of similar. We got in about the same time within a year or two or something. I think I started in '01, and I kind of grew up on an island and then discovered, Freedom Club, and my claim to fame or lack thereof has been, in many cases trying to find the right people
Yeah.
to get to the next phase. And we had it and, 19, 20, 21, and then, all, what hit the fan. But so we're kind of on that course again to, you know, conquer the world again, whatever, in some form or fashion. So,
Yeah.
um, but it's sticking to your goal. And like you say, if it's not scary enough, it's not big enough. And that's probably my detriment right now.
Nice. Well, Jeff, I'd love for you to join us on our on our follow up mastermind. It's going to be not next week, but the week after on Tuesday, the day after Labor Day.
Hmm.
But stay tuned. I got some cool stuff coming out for loan officers here in the next couple weeks. I need to get back in the community with people, and I realize like I'm not going to find the right group. I need to build it.
Yeah.
So stay tuned, man. Like,
Hey, thanks for sharing.
yeah, absolutely. Cool. Thank you for your feedback. How about you, Jeff Davis? What do you
Brother, I
think?
enjoyed it very much. My first intro to you was probably about 10 plus or minus years ago at Keller Williams down in the Poconos there. I've since progressed and opened up my own brokerage here the last year and a half, and kind of hit like a glass ceiling in a way in my thinking, limited beliefs, and I need to change the way that I'm doing some business. And you are a great example of success can be yours if you just work at it. So I applaud you for all that you've done, and I appreciate all your time here today. And you and Morgan did a great job.
Thank you. I appreciate it. So it's cool. Right across the screen, I got Jeff Davis, real estate agent, Dominic Vasciano,
Correct.
right?
Yeah,
Cool.
Vacciano.
Insurance, and Jeff Wilmoth in a loan officer. Like 3 right across the screen, which is super cool. Nancy Wazzle, Wazzle's a real estate agent as well. And then Nancy Wills. Oh, she's gone. I just asked Wazzle to unmute if he's around, but he's an agent. And actually, it's really funny. I just started running into him out here recently. Did he come off? Nope. I'll probably run into you again, eating pizza or wings or something like that. But it's really cool here. So we got 3, Jeff, realtor, insurance guy, and loan officer, and got feedback from all 3, which is really, really neat. Morgan, I love what we're doing. This is fun.
I have to add, what you say does also overlap to insurance purposes as well. So I will give you that. It's not just having the mindset. It's same thing with your mindset. That's what our mindset has to be as well. We have to constantly be striving, going for more, pushing the boundaries of being uncomfortable, and constantly just trying to get more and more in front of people, like how you're saying. And one way is not enough. You got to do all lanes possible. So
Yeah.
I agree with that.
What's actually funny. Thanks for sharing that, Jeff Davis. When I was building, I mean, I had a lot of influences, right? This book was just like one small little leap pad. Another book was the Millionaire Real Estate, or what's the Keller Williams book,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
So
Keller. Yep.
when I read that book, I said, I'm doing that in mortgage. That's how I'm building my team. I'm doing that. Dude, I did the 33 touch. I did I can hardly even remember the 12 direct or whatever it was. And then I built the team out. So when I built I'm going to see if I have it. When I wrote this out, yep, it's right here. When I wrote this out, I did the whole chart like Gary Keller built out in his book. And here, look, these are my original notes from back in 2014.
Wow.
Lies, luck. I'm like framing this stuff. Like this is
I
really
love
cool
this.
stuff.
We're going down history right now.
Yeah, this is really cool. Here's a note. Lady in Atlantic City, I'm going to be successful. I don't know what it is about you, and this is a time where I was broke, dude. I didn't have anything. She's like, I don't know what it is about you. I just feel this like energy from you. You're going to be successful one day. And I'm like, I've never forgot that conversation, by the way. Like, you never know how you can change somebody's life. She was a dealer at a blackjack table, by the way. Like, yeah, I don't know. I have no idea. Thoughts are things. Success. I'm not lazy. I have impotent goals, dude. I mean, like all this stuff coming back up. It's so neat. Those who fail to start are the real failures. Failure can always be turned into a positive. Make sure you look for the new seeds of opportunity that come from it. Dude, this was written 12 years ago.
Who
So
would have thought you would have gotten great advice from a blackjack dealer?
hey, she made me feel good. Maybe she was just trying to get a tip. I don't know.
That's what I was thinking. Like maybe she's just trying to make you feel good, but hey, it worked. It stuck
Yeah.
with you for this long.
Yeah, that was great, man.
That's good.
Well, this was cool. Do me a favor. Do me a huge favor. Actually, Dominic, another question for you. So, do
Sure.
you have somebody in the insurance world? Do you have people that are like coaches or people that are inspiring that people like join network, like mastermind
So
groups?
I would say I haven't found anything yet. I've only been in this for a few months now, just getting my feet on the ground, so to speak. I went to Texas to get some more coaching done that way at the headquarters, where it was extensive 2 week stuff where we just really got into what you're talking about here, but really getting into it. But no, I don't really have someone like how you're hosting now, a mastermind type of group. And so that's
Yeah.
why I was just really grateful to even be a part of this today.
Well, it's cool. I mean, I started out as a loan officer helping to coach, teach, and inspire real estate agents. Like I would teach classes and help them get like different tactics. And, at the end of the day, oh, by the way, I'm a lender. And it worked, man. It was great.
Hmm.
Like back in 2020, when we closed 802 loans, we had 317 different real estate agents that had referred us business that closed.
Wow.
At least, one of them. Now, again, I think there was like 187 C's, which was one closing.
Hmm.
We had something like 87 B's, which was between 2 and 4 closings, or 100 and some. I don't know. There was just a ton, but 317 agents that referred us something that closed. And I used to do that. Like I'm telling you, man, every Tuesday I would go to the Hotel Bethlehem and I would sit there. My first meeting was at 9. It was 9, 10, 11, 12. That would take me to 1. So I'd meet with 4 real estate agents back to back to back to back. My Home Court Advantage, another book, Michael Mayer's 7 Levels of Communication. There's a Home Court Advantage technique in there. I just took it from he's a real estate agent. Michael Mayer, he was the most referred real estate agent. He wrote a book and he said he does this home court advantage and he meets with a referral partner. So I said, dude, I'm doing this in the freaking loan world. And I did it. And every Thursday I would meet 11:30, 12:30, 1:30, and 2:30. So I would meet between 8 and 10. Well, no, she's about an hour and 45 minutes late. Sorry, we have somebody else that was looking to jump in. Where was I at here? So he does home court advantage, and I would just
Okay.
sit there for 5 hours, and literally the agents would come to me
Hmm.
back to back to back to back, and then I would introduce them to the person I was meeting with. 10 minutes, great, cool, like, hey, meet each other. Can't tell you how many people called me and said, hey, 3 months ago when I met you, I met Jeff Davis as well at the table, and Jeff and I just had a closing, and then it made me think of you. So like,
Oh,
so
wow.
super cool, dude. Like
I
it
like
worked
that.
so good. It wasn't even funny.
No, it's a really good idea. I mean, I need to get out there more. I need to put myself in front of people. I was talking to Morgan's dad, Randy, 2 weeks ago. He was giving me some really great advice as well. So he kind of taught me like if there's people around you, if there's 6 feet in front of you, they need to know what you're doing and how well you're doing it really, and know what business you're in and how you can help them. And I love that approach, and I've been taking that advice ever since. As soon as I meet people, it might not be the very first sentence, but we're going to get to that conversation.
Yeah.
And the other thing I wanted to mention is I'm taking this type of idea that you're talking about, and I am actually going to be hosting my own kind of like networking event. It's going to be with realtors mainly. I'm pairing with another realtor, and then she has some home buyers that she would like to join in on our Zoom. And we're going to have like a little lunch and learn where I can answer any questions, teach them a little bit about the insurance aspect of when it comes to the home buying and how it can be helpful to, look around and reshop. And also
Yeah.
at that same time, just like with my friend who's a realtor, she's willing to answer any questions, and we're trying to just build that type of network as well. But it's already in the starting phase, so we're trying.
Dominic, how old are you?
I'm 30.
30. How long you been in the business? You said a couple months.
Just a few months, yeah,
Cool.
since March.
Can I add on to what Randy shared? Just a little
Absolutely.
So
I love it.
I'm like the king of the tweaks. I'm just that self-proclaimed fucking badge or whatever.
Okay.
King of the tweaks. Okay. Randy's
Mhm.
advice was awesome. Can I just put like sprinkles on it?
Please, I want as much advice as possible.
In order to not be perceived as a salesperson with a spring-loaded card on your hand, right?
Yes, of course.
To get to telling people what you do, ask them what they do first, and then but be sincerely interested. Like,
Of
hey,
course.
like, what do you do for work? And they'll eventually tell you and whatever. And I say that because nobody loves Jeff. I don't know if you've ever seen the meme. It's like a line of urinals, like at a stadium. And there's one guy peeing down on the left-hand side.
Yep.
And he goes like, I'm a realtor. And all of a sudden the one other guy that's walking in comes down and stands next to him. Like, and there's 8 empty. It's a joke because once a loan officer finds out someone's a realtor, you're like, oh, you're a realtor. Oh, well, I'm a and then honestly, Jeff Davis, you
Yep.
confirm this. And all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, dude, come on. Like, right?
Yeah, right.
Like it's almost like, oh, you're a realtor. Like everything goes out the window, and then they're just like, oh, here's my card and all this stuff. Like, no, dude, like show genuine interest in
sincerity.
Jeff Davis. Like, wait, what do you do for work? So I always say this whenever I meet a realtor and I didn't know they're a real estate agent, I never say, and if Jeff goes, oh, I'm a realtor, I never respond with, oh, well, I'm a lender. Never,
Mhm.
ever, ever, ever.
Okay.
I want Jeff to tell me more about it. Oh, cool. Real estate agent. That's awesome. How's that going for you? How's the market? What's your biggest challenge? Like what things are you experiencing out there? And then after asking, but be sincere. Like I don't tell you to do this and then like not really give a shit. Like sincerely
course.
care
Mhm.
what the answer is. And then he'll eventually ask. Jeff will ask. And then, oh man, I'm glad you asked. Thank you. I'm actually in lending. But my main passion is I really love helping real estate agents do more business and do it in less time. And that's always been my passion. As a lender, I never loved doing the loans. I don't do the loans anymore. My passion is helping Jeff to get more referrals, helping Jeff get more leads and get more conversion. And not that I'm going to do it, but I'm going to help by giving tips and tricks and like this, sprinkles, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, Dominic, never go up and say, hey, here's what I do for a living. If you hear from
No,
across the room, I'm buying a house, just to go,
of course.
ask, and then they'll ask you.
I appreciate that input. I promise you, I'm not as aggressive as you might be assuming. I do take everything with a genuine approach, and I like to really make sure I let my whoever I'm talking to have the room to speak, and then I really just chime in when I
Yeah.
need to. I feel like one thing I learned about myself over the past few years, why I really feel like I've fallen pretty well into a good position being here, is I feel like I'm too good at being a people person, if that's a great way to say it. I make connections so well that a lot of people just end up wanting to talk to me anyway. A great example is you can walk into a store and someone's just going to bump into me and talk to me right away because they just want to. And then from there, I just generally just let them talk. And that's how I usually do with my clients as well. I tend to just let them go along with their conversation and I just try to answer when I can, filling out those little gaps that they're leaving. And a lot of the times, I like to tell my clients, it's like, I care so much more about teaching you than to do anything else. Like, I want you to know what you're getting yourself into. I want you to know that you're being more aware of it. I want you to have the most knowledge leaving this conversation than anything else. I'd rather you know that you're getting protection, going to be protected, and know in the long run that you're safe, because that's all I care about. The price is something different, but I like to just care about them. Okay, go ahead.
Time out. Sorry, I hate interrupting people, but I have
Please,
to.
you're fine.
What
I,
you
I, I
just
appreciate it.
now I'm going to ask you a question. What do you do for a living?
I'm an insurance broker.
No. Mm-mm.
No.
I had to stop you because of what you just said. What you just said is what you actually do for a living.
Oh, helping people, guiding them to find the knowledge of their insurance. You're right. You're right. That is exactly right. I actually wrote a note down because you said, what do you really want to do? And I wrote that part on my notes there is one of the main things I really want to do
Yeah. So what you just said, if you can bottle that and write it down,
in a shorter way.
and anytime anybody ever asks you what you do for a living, I would encourage you to never say insurance broker ever again. I would say I help people, I educate people and help them make the right decision when protecting their assets, protecting their biggest asset or something along those lines.
No, I see what you're saying though.
Because so many people go, what do you do for a living? Oh, I'm in the mortgage business. Oh, that must be interesting right now. Conversation over, dude. Totally over. Right.
Brother, you got to add one comment there, protecting your assets and your loved ones, because if you're selling PNC, you probably sell life insurance as well, right?
That is true. PNC, and I dabble in life insurance, not as much as not as much yet, but I will be eventually.
Home ownership is the greatest segue to an insurance salesman's success, because it's all about PNC and life insurance, because probability of somebody dying during ownership is great, and the house burning down, there's all those different things, so
Yeah.
You're absolutely right, Jeff.
yeah. So
Thanks for saying that.
Do you sell life insurance? Do you sell life insurance? You said?
Well, I have access to two
Access to it?
companies, Ethos and Ladder, so they basically let the client do it on
Okay.
their own. They never have to go through the doctor or get all the paperwork done. They just answer all their medical questions online at their own pace.
Okay, cool.
So that's just, I offer that as like a segue, but I never say, hey, I'm not going to go through a whole nother 2 hours with you on the phone. I'd rather you do your own thing and at your own time.
Yeah, I just did this the other day. I saw a guy, he was a life insurance person on
Okay.
Facebook, and he said, here was his post. I sell life insurance. If you need some, I'm your guy.
Oh my gosh.
And okay, hey,
No, you got
at
to
least,
sell a story.
but at least he's posting, right? And that's what
Hmm.
that was I sent him a private message. Hey man, are you open to a little advice? So I redid whatever it was.
Hmm.
And I said, if you post this, it'll get you more engagement, because what you really want to do is you want to get okay, Jeff, Wilmo, he left. All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
What you really want to do is you want to get them to ask you another question, right?
Hmm.
So what do you do for a living? Well, I help protect people's biggest asset. I help protect the family of the person of the biggest asset, or something along those lines, and
Okay.
get them to go, huh? How do you do that? Oh, well,
I see.
I'm in the insurance business. I'm an insurance broker, and what I do is
the elevator pitch,
boom, the elevator pitch,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
So
I
what I
like
did
it.
for this guy was I wrote, um, one of the biggest challenges in life is is a death of a loved one.
Hmm.
But even bigger than that is a death of a loved one that's not protected with life insurance. I help
That hits home.
solve that problem. Or something, I forget what it was, but it was something along those lines. And anyway, that's my free sprinkles.
I like that. It's a really nice way of putting it too. I mean, I think the best way to do it is you're kind of selling an emotion than anything else.
Mhm.
So ethos is the best way to approach that. So
Very cool.
yeah.
All right, guys. Hey, thank you for
Yeah.
being here. I appreciate you investing your time, and I love doing
Great
this.
seeing you. Thank
Yeah.
I
you.
I
Great.
appreciate giving me advice, guys. Thank you so much.
All right.
This is, you can't ask for something this great. So thanks again for your time. I hope to
Absolutely.
catch up with you guys soon, and I look forward to the next one. Okay.
You will. We'll see you 2 Tuesdays from now.
Good luck, Dominic. Thank you,
Thanks. You
Michael.
too.
Thank you,
You too.
See
Morgan.
you
Good luck,
later.
guys.
See you. Bye, girl.
See you
All right.
later.
Hey, Morgan, I'm gonna keep this on. I want to admit Donna here real quick, just to let her know.
Okay. She's still trying to get in?
It said it was still on here. I did click admit. I clicked it. Donna Cleveland, are you there? Hello, Donna. Donna, you still there? Oh, wait. I have to ask her to unmute, right? Or can we unmute her? Ask to unmute. I don't know. Donna, if you can hear us, we started the class at 1 o'clock. And we just wrapped up just a couple of minutes ago. So if you can hear us, catch us on the next one, okay? All right. I'll call you, Morgan. Or no. No. Don't report. What the hell?
What's happening?
I clicked report to Zoom. Oops.
Did you?
Yeah, by accident. Whoopsie. Yeah. No need to call you. I just remove.